of life's ups and downs. But fate's been kind. The downs have been few. Oh, I guess you could say that I've been lucky. Or I guess you could say that it's all because of God. Yes, if anyone should ever write my life story, for whatever reason there might be, oh, God is there between each line of pain and glory. Whoa, 'cause God's the best thing that ever happened to me. Yes, God's the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, I say there have been times when times were rough, yeah. But with God's love, I made it. I made it through. 'Cause for every moment that I stood hurting, there were the moments when God said, "Child, I'm loving you." If anyone should ever write my life story, oh, for whatever reason there might be, yes, God is there between each line of pain and glory. Whoa, 'cause God's the best thing that ever happened to me. Yes, God's the best thing that ever happened to me. I know God's the best thing. That ever happened to me.
Wouldn't you all just love to have sung that with her? I mean, she was glorious. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Spokane. My name is Sally Sledge, and I get to be the platform assistant again today. I love this job. Here at Unity Center, we are all about transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in the world. Cell phones, you all have them. Please take a look now, even though you think you did it an hour ago, and turn them to silent. I just did that. As always, we want to begin our time together with our opening affirmation. I say it once, and then I will ask you to repeat it after me. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. Now together, there is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. I can't tell you how many airline flights when you're taking off I have said those very words. They're very comforting. They're very empowering for me. This is Unity's foundation principle: one power, one presence, one life, living through and as each one of us. This morning, we will hear from our transformational speaker, the great Reverend David McClure, and his message titled, Now Thyself. He will also be leading us in the meditation. And now, let me invite Joan, our board president, up for an information.
Good morning, everyone here and everyone who's watching us online. I wish I didn't have to be here at this moment making this announcement, but as probably all of you know, we have had some changes in the restrictions and guidance and rules from the governor. So I wanted to share with you what our board has currently come up with. These decisions are temporary, I will affirm that, and we're really trying to honor people's choices, but also honor the requirements. So basically, the main change is that we will be following the requirements. As of next Sunday, masks will be required inside the building here at all times, with the exception of briefly removing them to eat or drink after the service or during the service. So please don't take offense if a board member, if you forget and a board member gently comes up and reminds you, because we feel it's really important. This is for not just our own safety, but the safety of each other, of our children. And it's just something we have to do right now. And I see a lot of you are already masked, so it's okay today, whichever way you'd like to do it, particularly if you're vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, we ask you always mask. We've decided to keep the coffee hour the same, so we will do it outdoors when we can. We will do it indoors if we can't do it out. And we just ask you to also be aware and perhaps keep a little more distance than you might if people are unmasked during that time. When we're greeting each other, we've decided we'll continue to move around the sanctuary and keep the greeting as we've had it, but again with the caveat that we ask you not to assume that anyone wants to be hugged. Or perhaps even handshake. If you want to have physical contact, please check. And if you're not comfortable with that, feel absolutely free to say, no thanks, right now I think I'd rather not touch. So, and then finally, with our seating, we've had a couple of requests of people who would like to have have available more of the seats that are socially distanced like we have on either side. So that's what the little white slip that I hope you got. If you don't have one of those little survey slips, would you raise your hand and they'll bring it around to you. And so what we'd like to ask is just check off your preference there, whether you're a visitor, whether you're somebody who comes every Sunday. We're just trying to get a feel for where we're at as a congregation that way. And if there are a significant number of people who would like to have greater social distance, then we will change some of the seating this next week. So we just wanted to do that based on what the congregation feels. And if you're watching online and would like to register your opinion about that, you can email me at board@unityspokane.org, board@unityspokane.org, and just either say as is or socially distanced. And then I'll add that to the whole picture. So thank you so much. I appreciate your patience with this, and we will all get through this, and I think we all need to be visualizing vibrant health for ourselves and for everyone we know and for this community and this world. Thank you.
Uplifting news you can use for today. We are encouraging everyone to read our weekly ENews, which comes out on Wednesdays. If you haven't received the most recent issue and want to, please scan the QR code located at the back of the sanctuary or in the bookstore, or ask people around here what the heck a QR code is, and we will explain that. More information about all of these announcements, more detail can be found in that ENews. We're trying to make this section of the Sunday morning a little more efficient. COVID update, as Joan just talked about, there are updates explained in the week's ENews. Reverend David McClure is launching a new series titled The Wisdom of Emmett Fox. The first book study will feature Fox's The Sermon on the Mount and will be offered in 2 different formats. The first is Wednesdays at 10 a.m. via Zoom, starting September 1st. The second format is Thursdays, 10 a.m., same time, but Thursdays in person in the chapel, beginning September 2nd. So that's right around the corner. If you are interested in signing up for this book series, please email David at the email address on the bottom of the screen. Yep, Lanakai Dave 1. I used to forget the 1, and it just didn't work. So take a picture of that if you want to be accurate. The book studies are on a love offering basis. Volunteer opportunities. We are in need of volunteers to help in the nursery, specifically helping with the little ones, the babies and the toddlers. We're also in need of additional welcome team members, people who self-identify as being welcoming and friendly and outgoing, and would enjoy being an usher, a greeter, or a helper for Sunday coffee and tea service. If you're interested in any of these opportunities, please email volunteer@unityspokane.org and state your interest and obviously your contact information. And final reminder for the board-sponsored Hot August Nights, which is happening this coming Saturday. We'll be outdoors. Hope to see everyone there. It's a barbecue and lots of fun, lots of games, kind of the end of the summer celebration. Please RSVP, again, an e-address, board@unityspokane.org. And Amber asked me to conclude this with the news that there is a search for a new music choir director going on. There is an active committee. We don't have applicants yet, but we will keep you posted on the progress.
If this life is one act, why do we lay all these traps? We put them right in our path when we just want to be free. I will not waste my days making up all kinds of ways to worry about all the things that will not happen to me. So I just let go of what I know I don't know, and I know I only do this by living in the moment, living my life easy and breezy, peace in my mind. living in the moment, living my life, easy and breezy, with peace in my mind, with peace in my heart, with peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I'm living in the moment, I'm living my life, just taking it easy. Got peace in my mind, got peace in my heart, got peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I'm living in the moment, I'm living my life, easy and breezy. Peace in my mind, peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home.
I saw that video this week and I said, bingo, that's the video for this morning. Good morning, Spokane. How good to see you. There's one other restriction that Joan forgot to mention, and that is from now on, this side over here is the clapping, laughing side, and this side can make up your own minds whether you want to clap and laugh. So that's the new rule around here. It's good to be back with you. There were two monks, a senior monk and a junior monk, and they were traveling together, and at one point they came to a river with a very strong current, and as the monks were preparing to cross the river, they noticed just down the stream a little bit there was a very beautiful young woman who was attempting to cross the stream as well, and she waved at the monks and said, "Can you help me get across the river here?" So the two monks glanced at each other because they had taken vows at their monastery that they would never touch a woman. And yet without a word, the senior monk, the older one, picked up the woman, put her over his shoulder and carried across the river, gently put her down on the other side and carried on with his journey. The younger monk couldn't believe what he had just seen. He was flabbergasted by this, and after rejoining his companion on the other side of the river, he didn't say anything for an hour. And another hour passed and he didn't say anything, and another hour passed and he didn't say anything. And finally, he couldn't stand it any longer, and he said, "As monks, we're not permitted to touch a woman, and yet you carried this woman on your shoulders." The older monk looked at him and said, "Brother, I set her down on the other side, but I see you're still carrying her." Well, that's a simple Zen story, but it has a message that's powerful for us about living in the present, living in the moment. How often do we carry the past with us around? How often do we carry past hurts, holding resentments that we've held on to for some time, when the only person that hurts is ourselves? How often do we carry yesterday's ideas, yesterday's memories, yesterday's news reports, going over and over again, the instant replay of the way things were, and trying to fit them in and apply them to our current situation? It was Mel Brooks, the comedian, who said this: "To know thyself is more important than to know thyself." He took it from Plato, I guess. Well, I want to tell you this morning that anything and everything that you could ever do to make your life better is based on that concept, to know yourself. we need to get out of the business of pasting ourselves and futuring ourselves, because in the world that is upon us, the world that we're living in right now, the state of mind that we are in today, the time for nowing ourselves is, well, now, for sure. Human reasoning tells us that we should ignore the present moment and live in the future. What are we going to do if this happens and that happens and something else happens? How are we going to function? How are we going to survive? How are we going to avoid catastrophe in our lives? How are we going to avoid the Delta variant COVID-19? Or perhaps we take a walk down memory lane and we reminisce about the good old days, and once again draw our attention to some of the bad old days that we had in our lives. Remember what happened then? Remember what happened yesterday. Don't get me started about yesterday. We started to make plans for tomorrow, our future speculation and aspirations based on past data about our experience. What have we experienced in our past life? And as soon as I get this page turned, I'll be fine. Okay, there we go. Perhaps we think somewhere over the rainbow bluebirds fly, and that greener pastures lie ahead for each one of us. But if you invest time in looking at that, it's like looking in a rearview mirror at a carrot stick. Think about that one for the moment. If you are looking in the past or you are looking in the future, you're not living at all. So I want to remind you today that everything you see and sense in the outside world has already left and gone away. We learn this from the Course in Miracles, from Workbook lesson number 7. It states, I see only the past. I see only the past. That means that anything that you and I are looking at in the outside world, whatever we think it means, whatever significance we give to it, the reason is because we are already seeing something that has dead and gone. And that's the same reason why our thoughts don't mean what we think they mean. And that is because those thoughts are long gone too. And that's the same reason why you and I don't have a clue on what's going on in the world, because the time we finally get it, it's gone. It's left the building. Same thing about getting upset. I don't suppose anyone here in this congregation has ever gotten upset, but the Course in Miracles reminds us about that and says, I'm never upset for the reason I think. Because I think I'm upset because of something that just happened, when actually it happened in the deep, dark past. I'm reminded of those famous words of Carol Bryant, who said, some people make things happen, some people watch things happen, and then there are those who say, my God, what happened? So our whole idea about time has got to be overhauled and changed. And that's not an easy thing for you and I to do, because everything that you and I believe about life is rooted and grounded in time. I want to invite you to learn some new ideas about time. I'm going to lay them on you and see what you think. We start with a simple idea. What is this? It's a piano, we say. How do you know it's a piano? Where did you find that information out? Somebody told you? Somebody, your mother sat you down there and said, you play the piano. You're going to learn the piano. Or the teacher taught you as a piano. Or the conductor taught you it's a piano. All of the information that we have that says this is a piano is based on the past. What if it isn't a piano? What if it's something else? What if it's something else? Actually, we are reliving our past experiences of seeing this as a piano. We are listening to it being played and enjoying it, or we're not, as the case may be, as the pianist may be. Even our aesthetic reaction to it, whether it's the appropriate piano for this stage, is based on who are you to say this is appropriate or not? It's past experience. Past experience. How else will you know whether it's a good piano or not? Happens to be a very good piano, but how do I know that? Well, past experience, especially in this room. How else would we know that it is appropriate to be up here on the platform, except from the past? Well, this isn't only true of pianos. Take a look around this room for a moment and say to yourself, I see only the past in what I'm looking at. Certainly, if anybody has past memories of this room, I do. A lot of my life was lived right here in this place. But all of it is long gone. All of it is long gone. The good old days, the bad old days, the days have gone. It's kind of like chocolate, you know? Dave Barry once said, your hand in your mouth agreed many years ago that as far as chocolate is concerned, there is no need to involve your brain. I remember in Hawaii one time, we're going to do a christening later on today, Lane Pavy's daughter, and she had I was at lunch with some friends and they had a small infant, and dessert came around and the mother wanted the child to taste a little bit of chocolate. It was the very first time that she'd ever tasted chocolate in the entire universe. And the expression on her face was priceless. Oh my God, I have died and gone to heaven. You know, and it never leaves us after that. A man goes to a counselor and he says, the counselor says, what's the problem? He says, no matter what we are discussing, my wife always gets historical. And the counselor says, you mean hysterical, don't you? And he said, no, I mean historical. She's always bringing up the past. What do you say to someone who is always bringing up the past? Well, here's some suggestions. I don't look back because I'm not going that way. Or maybe this, if you judge me by my past, don't be surprised when you become part of it. Throw that around a little while. Or how about this one? You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last chapter. Or this one, the past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Or, I am not the same person I was a month ago, a day ago, or a year ago. My life is always changing. Yes, it is. Or this one, well, you know, sometimes people with the worst pasts end up creating the best futures. We know that one to be true. And finally, it doesn't matter who I used to be, it only matters who I have become. You know, we've all mastered an art that cows have down pat. especially dairy cows, we've all mastered the art of regurgitation. And that is the repetitive process of bringing up the past information without analysis, without comprehension, and introducing it into our present life, into our present relationships, into our present job, into our present circumstances. And the thing is that when you and I focus on the past, we live in the past. When I make judgments and life-altering decisions based on the past, I totally ignore what's really going on in this universe. What's really going on in this universe has nothing to do with what's really going on in the world right now, nor in the past. What's going on in the world right now is the astounding, amazing, benevolent grace of ta-da, the now. That's what's going on in the universe. So when you enter into the kingdom of the moment, this now moment, which is totally unique in all the world because it's never ever happened before, you touch a part of yourself that you've never touched before. You touch the real, true you, the one and only you. So the question I have for you this morning is, are you getting 60 seconds out of every minute of your life? Each minute is magnificent and precious and beautiful, and you may not notice it at all because you're looking at this carrot on a stick in the rear view mirror of your life. It passes you by. Now, I'm not talking about ignoring stuff that's going on in the world. It's not about ignoring change or tragedy or anything else. It's not about ignoring what's plain as the nose on your face. I'm talking about what's possible right here and right now in this moment. When we ruminate over our past actions and events, we are weighed down and our energy is sapped and drained. Our batteries are used up, and so is our life energy. So like cows, we eat, we ruminate, and then we regurgitate. We bring it up again for a vote. And we just keep chewing our cud. So you were not made to be a cow, you were made to be you. The other option from living in the past is to now thyself. We can choose to let go of what doesn't serve us anymore, what's obsolete. We can choose to concentrate on the present moment. And until we can find a level of peace and happiness in the present circumstances of our lives, we will never be content because now is all we ever have. The only thing you have in the universe is now. You don't have anything else. You don't even own your own home for very long. You just have now, and that's all you need. Think about it. Now is all you and I ever need. We may have snapshots on our phone from 1985. I know I do, and memories of milestones of our journey throughout the universe and throughout our lives, but we always and only are seeing them today. We're seeing them now, not yesterday. So here's the drill for getting 60 seconds out of every moment. Look around you and repeat, I see only the past. I see only the past. Start with simple objects, piano or whatever it is, and then work your way up to people and places and situations and ultimately to your own thoughts and feelings about what you see when you look into the bathroom window in the morning. I see only the past, thankfully. In this moment, in this now moment, anything is possible. And everything is available. I don't know about you, but I don't want to miss any of it. If you don't believe that, then you're living in the past. If you don't believe that anything is possible for you today, right here, right now, then check which time zone you're in. You're living in the past. Dennis Waitley said it this way: happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every moment with love, grace, and gratitude. So, what happens, what needs to happen to get our life back on track again, to get us back to nowing ourselves? Well, first of all, we need to understand what nowing ourselves really means. Simply put, it means constantly, instantly, continuously bringing your full and undivided attention back to the present moment. Let's say you're working on a problem, trying to figure out what to do. Notice you're thinking, what will I do next? Next is an interesting word that we use. Our mind is targeting next. But instead of thinking next, think now. Think now thyself. And how do you do that? How do you now thyself, David? Well, you breathe. Simple as that. Take a deep breath right now. You just nowed yourself. It's that simple, because breathing is always in the now. It always brings you back to now, no matter what, because you can't breathe any other time. You can't breathe yesterday, and you can't breathe tomorrow. You can only breathe now, in this present moment. So that is the way you now yourself. You don't get upset, you don't get worried, you don't get fearful, you don't get reminiscent. You breathe. You breathe. The present moment is the only moment that can bring you home, the only now that is real. And that's all we have. Only now brings you to calm, only now brings you to peace, only now brings you to love, only now brings you to waking up. It is the only true name for heaven, the eternal present. You do not exist at any other time or place than the eternal present. And this is one of the great unsolved mysteries of life. It was Somerset Maugham, the great writer, who said, there are 3 rules for writing the great English novel. Unfortunately, no one knows what they are. And so he wrote all of his marvelous novels the only way he could, 1 word, 1 page at a time. So I'm going to give you a simple exercise for nowing yourself. We've already done it. Let's do it again. Let's take a deep breath. Hold it for a few seconds and then let it go. You nowed yourself again. You nowed yourself again. And that's the only thing that matters. You know, it's the only thing that matters to spirit. The word spirit, by the way, means what? Breath. That's what it means. You want to touch spirit? Breathe. The only thing that you and I have to get in touch with spirit is breath. And each breath, when it happens, the spirit brings us back to square one, to the eternal now. Another word for living in the now is mindfulness. You may have heard that word along the way. Becoming aware and mindful is not some magical tool that you only experience in pleasant moments. in meditation or wherever you happen to be, it brings you back to now, and now holds everything. It holds success and delight. It even holds pain and suffering in our lives. Jesus used to frequently now himself. I don't know if you knew this or not, but he says, "Do not say after 4 months the harvest comes. Behold, I say to you, lift up your eyes and behold the fields. They are now white and are ready for harvest." Right away. Or those are words thereabouts. Life is not waiting for you. It's not waiting for you to get your act together, or get over a cold, or earn more money. And life is certainly not waiting for you to find your RPM. You know what that means? Your right and perfect mate. It's not waiting. Life will pass you by until you now yourself. Life is not what you've set out on your calendar at home, your appointments, and everything that's every appointment you had last week and appointments you have next week. Life in all its glory is the big, beautiful, bountiful harvest that's ready right now. Things are happening right now as we sit in this room. There are opportunities arriving, just like trains are arriving at your station, even as we speak. But don't put off till tomorrow the happiness that you deserve today. Now thyself. Another writer, Ernest Hemingway, said it this way: "Now is a curious word that I use to express my whole life and my whole world." Ever since we were children, people have tried to convince us that there is a place waiting for us where we will be happy. A day will dawn, they tell us, and based on our own efforts, our own confidence, and our own desire to excel, we will achieve that goal that we have desired. But if you think about life in that way, you may forget what's going on right now. It's up to you whether you heed the famous quote of John Lennon or not, who said, "Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans." So don't spend, it's okay to plan, but don't spend all your time making other plans. The only way to not miss out on life is to continuously take a deep breath and now yourself. Making good plans is good. Having goals is good. Having a future is good. But you can also forget that your heart is beating right now. You may forget that your lungs are breathing in and out right now. Don't neglect right now. It was Andre Gide who said, "If you really want to be happy, don't give in to the temptation of comparing this moment with other moments from the past, which you didn't know how to enjoy because you were comparing them with the moments that were yet to come." Deepak Chopra said it quite a different way. He said, "The allure of living in the present moment is popular, but now it is also endangered. The pandemic lockdown has forced millions of people into cramped living conditions that has disrupted normal life, put strain on our relationships, added stress to families, stretched our financial resources, and introduced depression and anxiety into our life." He says most everyone's dream right now is to escape the present moment. But he says, don't do that. With or without your permission, Your situation in life will change, as will mine. Like the power of now, it is embedded in all of our aspirations. The present moment is both your problem and your solution at the same time. Now, I know many of us would say these are hard times, but how do we know they're hard times? Where did you get that information from? Besides Channel 2 or Fox or some other channel. Where did you get that information? Or did somebody on the street come up and say, well, these are really hard times, you know? Where did we get that? Well, the same way we got the taste of chocolate. Same way. The same way we know it's a piano over there. Maybe in the eternal present, none of this is really true. Just saying. Just putting it out there for you. If you find yourself stuck in worry or depression or fear, stop and take a deep breath. At least you can do that, can't you? Start nowing yourself, no matter how expensive your Rolex watch may be. It does not tell timeless. Only breathing tells timeless. The story about it, the big bad wolf who converted to Buddhism. And finally, there was peace in the forest. But suddenly, the air was filled with screams of terror, and a bear wondered what was going on, and he asked the other animals who were running past, what's happening? And the goat said, it's the big bad wolf. He's meditating. And the bear said, well, that's a good thing, isn't it? And he said, no. He's turning into an aware wolf. Sorry about that one. That snuck in there. I took one too many deep breaths. Well, are you an aware wolf? Do you know what's really, really going on in the universe right now? Jesus said it again. He said, therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. And so the only way I know to guarantee that you get 60 seconds out of every moment on your amazing journey is to now yourself. Let's do it one more time. Take a deep breath. And here you are. Here and now. You're present and you're open to blessings that are pouring in and through you right now. And I leave you with this old adage, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. And that's why they call it a present. God bless you. Thank you.
Feels like I'm surfing on a sound wave, zooming through the universe. Feels like we're bouncing off of light waves. I bounce so hard sometimes it hurts. Well, every time I think I'm stuck, the sun moves along and my shadow gets up. If you're lost, relax and be where your feet are. Every time I try to follow someone's way, my end result is not the same. But then I do that thing I do that's just for me. And amazing things start happening, and again and again. And every time I think I'm stuck, the sun moves along and my shadow gets up. If you're lost, relax and be where your feet are. Be where your feet Spaces where I'm spacing out, still looking up when I'm feeling down. I try to walk the talk I talk, but the tale is taller when I look up. It's still too easy to feel small. Still I found if you're lost, just relax and be where your feet are. Get lost, if you're lost, relax and be where your feet are. Be where your feet are. If you ever get lost, kick back and be where your feet are. Be where your feet are. If you ever get lost, relax and be where your feet are. Be where your feet are. I'm gonna be right here.
Be where your feet are. I invite you to enter into a short meditation with me and do that thing that we've been talking a lot about, and that is taking a deep breath, closing our eyes. Bring all your attention to your breath now. And let it give you its gift. And its gift is always peace. And in this peace, picture raindrops falling onto your face. And know that each drop of water brings life. Life to your earth, life to your body, life to your life. And so the question, once again, is where are you most living your life right now? Sometimes we don't want to live in the now because it's quiet there. We feel like if I'm right here and right now, I'm running away from things. I'm not paying attention to important issues in my life. How can I trust here and now? Why are those the two happiest words in the English language. And know that you are always being pulled there at the invitation of Spirit. That's where the Spirit will always invite you home. Home to peace, home to your heart, home to yourself. Life is always calling you home. And you have nothing to fear. Nothing outside, nothing inside. On the other side of any discomfort, you will always find a pool of unconditional love waiting for you, welcoming you. Your heart is finding its way to you. And it asks only that you stay in the quiet for one moment longer than you think you can. And then one moment more. At any moment, if a burden or fear comes up before you, making you want to run or hide or find shelter in the past or in the unborn future, just know that in this moment, this now moment, there is always healing. Welcome it. Fear will subside. Anxiety will dissolve. You were created to live fully and completely. But only if you live where Spirit lives. Where breath lives. And that is here and now. And as you get ready to open your eyes, just remember that what you will see is the past. But every time you breathe and every time you take time to be still, you will enter the eternal, the beautiful, the radiant, the healing now. And so it is. Amen.
Bless you, Reverend David McClure. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, for we know that there is only one power and one presence, one life. So whoever you are, here or online, whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey of transformation, you are welcome here. If you are new to this ministry and you feel comfortable now raising your hand, we would love to say a special hello to you and offer you a free coffee at the barista stand, which is now open. Is there anyone here who's new for the first time and feel comfortable raising your hand? Go ahead and do that. Thank you. Welcome. Anything for a coffee, right? For those of you watching online who are new to this ministry, we encourage you to sign up for our ENews to learn more about upcoming transformational speakers, workshops, events. You can sign up for our newsletter by texting Unity Spokane 22828 or go to the website. We would also like to connect with you on our social media, especially Facebook. Seems like our Facebook page is pretty active these days. Instagram and YouTube, just search for Unity Spiritual Center Spokane to find us, and thank you for joining us today. Now is our time for greeting, and Joan has already talked about changes that are here today and will be here. Just personally for me, I have chosen to, and with love and respect for everyone here, I have chosen to maintain social distance and to namaste my greeting. But let's take a moment for you to either do that same thing or meet with people right now, just for a moment. Go for it. And please come back to your seats. Thank you, everyone. Such a friendly place. It's time now to celebrate our abundance together as we share our tithes and love offerings. Our ushers will be going around the sanctuary with love offering bags. So invite you to hold your offering in your hand, or if you are a monthly giver or giving virtually, please hold that energy in your heart as we say our love offering blessing. Together, I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share.
No more tears to wipe away, no more fear to bind me. I've been led to find my way. Here I stand in faith and courage to feel what's within me. No more silence, I am free. Surrender to the mystery. You can't control, so let it go. Allow it to simply be here and now, and everything is one with each other. Love is the answer. Know that you're perfect, exactly the way you are. The words you choose to speak, your thoughts, they manifest your life. Will you keep guiding me to be my most highest self? Everything I need is all within me right here, right now. Here I am. My heart is wide open.
Dear Mother, Father God, thank you for these gifts and for those who have given them as we send them forward in continued service to our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in this world. Thank you, God. Amen. Our chaplains today are Marlene and Tim, who have been holding the service in prayer for us today, either from home or here in the sanctuary. Tim will be available to pray with you immediately following the service if you have something that is heavy on your heart or something you want to celebrate. Tim will be available in the front of the sanctuary. And there's Tim. Thank you, Tim, for standing. He will be up here after the peace song. And we are having both offering barista services and regular coffee service, again, in the prayer garden today. We would like anyone, to encourage anyone who is in need of prayer support to fill out a prayer request form. You can find them on the little pockets on the back of the chairs. And they will be prayed on here at Unity, added to the prayer list here for 30 days, and then also silent unity. It sounds like the children are ready to come in. We must have music, though.
I'm walking. I am walking in the light, in the light, in the light. I am walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God. I'm walking as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light, as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
Wow. Haven't seen this for a while. It's lovely. Lovely. All of your faces. I'm so glad to see you and to be able to look at your faces. We are so grateful for every single one of you here, to be here and to be also maybe watching online. So grateful for all of you. Let's take a moment to bless the children, the youth, and those in service to our youth ministry with our children's blessing. Together, be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near. And for ourselves, be the love we are, sing the song we hear, share our joy of life with people far and near. And now we ask that the children go and be with the people they came with. And now, please stand as you are able and join together for our closing prayer for protection, which will be followed by the peace song. Together we affirm that the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth.